Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Latinaly podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I had something different planned for today's episode, but I've been feeling assigned Kiah. So that's what we're going to do today, and we're going to jump right into it. I went to our links and I also grabbed some things from TikTok because we have been running it. You have been running it up on the Latinaly podcast TikTok page. So before I do get started into all the all the things, I just wanted to say that you can submit your questions anywhere. It doesn't have to be anonymous. I make the anonymous link available to you in case you don't want me to know who you are. But no matter what, if you DM me, if you text me, if you email me, or go to the NGL link, whenever I shoot the show, you will always be anonymous. So I'm never going to say so and so asked da 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 da. So to the show, you will be anonymous. But if you DM me, I will know who you are. So if you're comfortable with me knowing who you are, a couple ways to submit for signed Kiah. You could do a DM, you could do an email, or you could go through our NGL link, or you can go through our website, kiahburgos.com/ask. Let's get into the tea because I gathered some things. Here we go. Hi, Kiah. What do you do when your marriage is solid, but life stress makes it feel like you're just surviving instead of actually connecting? Oh my God. What a phenomenal question. This question is so good because so many people who are in relationships go through this. Now, I have a little bit of I think maybe more seasoned perspective because I've been with my husband since I was 18 years old. It sometimes depends on how long you've been with the person in terms of how you handle stresses together. I remember I was talking to my cousin about this, and she was talking about her husband, and they've been together just as long as my husband and I have been together. And I remember her saying, I don't have issues with him. I don't have a problem with him. I have a problem with everything around us. So we don't have problems together within our marriage. There are these external things that are trying to weed their way into our relationship that we have to deal with together. And I had told her that being with my husband at 18 years old, we had a lot of different external stressors in the sense of, okay, well, we're both living at home. So we have a lot of family things. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, I'm still just his girlfriend, right? I'm not a fiance. I'm not a wife. I don't have that title that secures my place in his life for me to have certain levels of power that I do now, right? Because there is a difference. Don't let anybody tell. A lot of people don't understand the importance and sanctity of marriage. If you don't believe in it, that's fine. Go on and live your life. I, however, do. There is a difference between being somebody's girl and their wife. So don't let anybody tell you different. Don't let anybody try to persuade you differently, especially a man. If a man tells you, I don't believe in marriage, bitch, run. Run for the hills. We veered off for a minute. So as my husband and I were dating, we were navigating through a lot of milestone coming of age issues that we had to go through together. And I remember telling him, like, I can't wait until we're on our own because I know, like, we would be so good. You know, right now we have a lot of stress, we have a lot of issues. You and I are fighting all the time because, you know, you got your parents, I got my parents, you got this, we got this. And I just know that once we're on our own, things are going to be so different. And lo and behold, they were very different. You know, your marriage is solid. You know, you and your partner are solid. There is nothing that is going to crack, capsize, demolish the foundation that you both have built together. But sometimes life throws a lot of challenge, obstacle, struggle in the mix of our life. And when that happens, especially when we're in modes of survival, we start to enter a fog that blurs our vision in how solid our foundation actually is. Because in your mind, you're kind of like, damn, like I'm good with my man, I'm good with my husband. Why is all this happening? Why is all of this going on? And so you start to then associate the struggle or the stress as a reflection of your foundation if you let it. It's very easy for you to let that happen. And this is the part of marriage that takes work. This is where we have to choose each other. Shared stress is the best stress. You could have, you personally could have stressors, they could have stressors, you could have stressors together. And I think it's all a matter of not just surviving, but you're coping and navigating through those stresses together. And when you do it together, you then understand how your partner is handling everything. They understand how you're handling everything. And that only strengthens your foundation that you already know is solid. You know, you and your partner are solid. Your marriage is solid. Like, and this is the time I think maybe that you sit down and you're like, okay, let's take a beat because we're going through a lot right now and we're not connecting. It's not on you. It's not on me. It just is. We're not connecting. We're very distant with each other. We're constantly clashing. And that's because we're dealing with this stress separately when it's affecting our home. And our home is ours. Our foundation, our marriage is ours. So we need to deal with it together. And so communicate with them. Say, this is what's going on in my head. This is how I'm feeling. How are you feeling? What about this problem that you were having the other day? How are you feeling about that? How does that make you feel? Have you sat with it? Have you This is where we over communicate. And I think, and especially when I talk to my husband, because I'm a Sagittarius, he's a Virgo, sometimes those signs have a very difficult time communicating because the lines get blurred and there's a lot of misunderstanding sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I think Sagittarius, we think of big picture, we're open, adventurers, right? So when we're discussing things, we're talking very openly, broadly. When you talk with a Virgo, Virgos are very concise, they are very specific, they are very nitpicky. So when I speak to my husband, sometimes we have to communicate in a way that the other is going to understand. Add stress, add surviving, add challenge on top of that. And that's when a conversation can get agitated very quickly. And then you start arguing about the stress. It's very easy for your frustration of the stress to get misplaced when you're talking to your partner about it. And so it's important to remember that your foundation, you are solid and you need to choose each other every single day, because the truth of the matter is the stress is going to come and go. I think that a lot of people don't understand that when you choose to be with somebody, you think that you're just going to have one hiccup in your marriage. You think you're going to have, one phase of marriage that really fucking sucks, and once you're out of the woods, that's it, it's done. You forever, you're like, you're Gucci, you're good to go. And it's like, no, sis, this happens all the time. You are two human beings. In marriage, when you pick somebody, you're going to go through really low points in your marriage. When you choose someone for better or for worse, that's not just in their personality. That's not choosing them in their worst. That's choosing them when shit gets really, really, really bad. That's you choosing them in navigating through all the stress and struggle of life, because life does not wait for anybody's situation to be perfect to then be like, period, boom. Life is going to throw things at you guys on its time, not your time. And so the stress is going to come and go. You're going to have high points and you're going to have low points. And it's how you navigate through the low points that then articulates how you then reconnect in your high points. So my advice is to try to find the rhythm with your partner in beginning to navigate through the stress rather than just surviving it. Because once you're out on the other end, then that means that you're better prepared when stressors come up. You both understand each other and you both now really have a good understanding of how you both deal with stress and what to do and what not to do. And you'll come out on the other end of it. Thank you for your question. I hope that answered your question. Okay. Second question. How do you handle it when someone speaks negatively about your child, especially when it's subtle, indirect, or disguised as concern, and you're trying to respond with maturity instead of rage? When I tell you this just happened to me, when I tell you this just happened to me, I had found out that someone made a comment about my child. Let me tell you something. The one thing about these episodes when I do this signed Kiah, especially if you go to our TikTok of me speaking about the friend ghosting the other friend, if you look at the comments, the views alone, that reached so many people. It is so enlightening to me when I do these because I'm literally going through it right now. And the fact that I get a question like this, it just goes to show that all of us are going through something, many of us the same thing at the same time. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's get into this because first of all, for someone to feel comfortable to speak on your child, I think that that person is very deluded. I think that they are stupid. I think that whatever brain activity they have going on, it's very, very minimal. For someone to be so confident to speak on somebody else's child, bitch, are you good? You have here disguised as concern. A lot of people will speak out of turn, disguising it as concern, a joke, lighthearted. And it's like, girl, evidently the elevator is not going all the way to the top. Obviously, too, this person does not know you, does not know you the way that they should know you because you want to act in rage. You understand? Because I feel you. Don't speak about my child because I'll smack the fuck out of you. You see what I'm saying? See, this sentence right here, responding with maturity instead of rage. There's a reason why when certain women become mothers, we choose to walk in a path of grace and peace. There's a reason that we do that. And it's because there was once a roaring fire that the moment that we gave into it, the whole world would burn down. So do not take me walking in the path of peace as a sign of weakness. Take it as a representation of everything that I had to go through in order to be able to want to walk in that path of peace and grace, bitch. Because when you speak about my child, you are about to see a version of me that never chose that route. I don't know why people are very, very stupid. This is not an excuse for that person. This is for you to then be able to accept the fact that you're not going to smack the fuck out of her, and you can handle it appropriately. I feel that people who speak on other people's children are very, very riddled with envy. Riddled like mites. These people have such miserable fucking lives. Miserable lives that they cannot turn the mirror on themselves, on their own home. So they try to make slight of you and yours, even when what they're saying is fucking false. Take those realizations, take those definitive facts of this disgusting human being and say, you know what? Bitch, you are minute. You are nothing. And I'm not about to act foolish in front of my child. I'm not about to come out of the character that I worked so hard to build because you only have two brain cells rubbing together. I'm not about to do it. I will handle you. I'm going to handle you. And if you get crazy when I handle you, then and only then will I step out of my character. And I think this is the approach that I'm also going to take. I could have texted this person, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until I pull up to the function that we just so happen to be at. And it's going to be one of those things where it's like, hey, yo, yeah, what's up? Let me talk to you for a minute. I heard you said this about my child. Why would you think it's okay to speak on my children at all? You picked the right one. If you believed that you were going to speak on my child without any consequence, because I don't know whose perspective got skewed enough to believe that I was the mother whose children you could fuck with. I don't know in what realm of fucking delusion you are living in. But unless you want to see the light, bitch, I'm the right one. That's exactly how I'm going to do it. In person. I don't give a fuck if it's 3 years from now. I don't give a fuck if it's 10 years from now. I need you to look at me dead in my face. And the thing about it is, I say this, my children are so divinely protected that if you speak on them in a negative way, any ill intent, any malicious mal de ojo that even goes in my children's direction, I feel bad for you. Why would you do that? You need to be very careful of when you start talking about people, especially children, especially ones as, oh my God, as favored as mine. Your life isn't shit enough. You had to throw another mohong on top of it. Why would you do that to yourself? How do you handle it? Girl, you handle it. See, and here's the thing, and please, I'm not trying to do one of those love your work your love bullshits, but you can be enraged with someone, but not speak in rage. You don't have to let your rage speak for you. You can be mad as hell. You could be fucking infuriated, but you find a balance in that rage. Because when we are in rage and we let that speak for us, we let the emotion speak for us rather than our sound mind, then people are like, nah, that bitch is crazy. You see how she got? You see how she... And instead of them hearing your word, they only see your reaction. So I hope that helped. Okay, next question. How do you know when it's time to stop explaining yourself in a relationship and accept that someone is committed to misunderstanding you? I feel like this could work for romantic and platonic relationships. Every relationship takes work. For people to say that relationships are not hard work and yada yada, that's very naive to believe. However, having to explain yourself so that someone can understand you makes sense in certain situations. But when you have to over-explain so that someone sees you, that's exhausting. It's exhausting to have to try to get someone to choose you because that's what it is. They're not choosing you. They don't understand you because they're choosing to not understand you. How do you know when it's time to stop explaining yourself? Now, because you've come to this understanding, you've come to this realization that this person does not choose you. This person does not give a flying fuck if you feel seen, if you feel loved, if you feel understood. Because when you love somebody, when you cherish somebody, when you care for somebody, especially when you care about their feelings, you will do everything that you can to try to understand them, see them for who they are, right? It doesn't really have to, you know, this doesn't necessarily have to be in a situation of conflict. It could just be that you have a friend that for some reason you're not aligning with. And every single time you try to get the cogs to mesh and work together so that your relationship can go and find a rhythm and flow and you guys can just live and enjoy each other, you're finding that things are not fitting. That's because this person is making it so that you don't fit with them. They don't want you to fit with them. They don't want you to align with them. And yes, it is a shitty feeling to feel. It is awful when you come to the conclusion that someone doesn't choose you. And even more so when someone doesn't see you because they don't want to see you. It kind of reminds me of that part in P.S. I Love You when Hilary Swank is talking to Kathy Bates and they're comparing trauma because Kathy Bates was left by her husband and Hilary Swank's husband passed from cancer. And Hillary's like, my husband didn't want to leave me. My husband, he would have been here if he wasn't sick. And then Kathy Bates was like, and my husband chose to leave me. So which one do you think is actually worse? Yes, it's tragic that your husband passed, but your husband didn't want to leave you. Your husband loved you. And so you have a solace in knowing, okay, he loved me, he wanted to be with me, and he was taken from me. And Kathy Bates is kind of like, I loved your father more than anything, and he did not love me back. He chose to leave me. I'm just saying, that's what it kind of reminds me of. It reminds me of that, where it's like there is such a pain in being left. There is such a pain in giving your all to somebody that still chooses to leave you, that still chooses to not want to be with you. You see what I'm saying? Choosing each other is so powerful, positive and negatively. And this is a big pill to swallow. It really, really is. And unfortunately, it's one of those things where you're not going to ever understand it. You're never going to understand it because it sounds like you want this to work so badly because you are over explaining yourself. You want this person, you choose this person, and they don't give a shit about your effort in wanting them. They don't care that you want them. And they are showing you every single time you explain yourself, I don't want you. I don't. Because I am choosing to misunderstand you. I am blatantly listen, people misunderstand each other, it's unintentional, but when someone purposefully misunderstands you because they don't want to, oh my God. Like, what a terrible feeling. So you're never going to understand it. You're never going to respect it. You might even be a little angry about it, but you have to accept it, because if you don't accept it, you're going to continue in a cycle of not being chosen. And in this particular situation, you need to choose to see yourself. And baby, you need to see yourself the fuck out of this relationship. I'm sorry you're going through this. Thank you for your question. How do you balance being a good mother while still honoring the parts of yourself that existed before kids without guilt? God, what a good question. You have mom guilt because you're a phenomenal mother. Point blank. I don't think that there is a good mother that does not feel guilty. I really don't. I think that mom guilt is just something that sits there. You feel guilty because you love your babies. I don't think it's about balancing being a good mother, because you are a good mother. I think what you have to balance is you feeling joy that you're honoring yourself while simultaneously feeling guilty because you're doing so, because you think that by honoring yourself, you're taking something away from your kids. That's the balance that you're doing. You don't have to balance being a good mom. Bitch, you are a good mom. You know how many moms don't feel guilty about leaving their kids? You know how many moms don't give a fuck about their kids? Baby girl, you're doing a great job, because you wanting to honor yourself and pour into yourself makes you a better woman, which then makes you a better mother. Before I left Paramount, I was a work from home mom. Still am a work from home mom. Trying to make this whole thing work out, you know what I'm saying? But when I would go into the office and I would leave my kids with, my mother-in-law, I felt guilty. I'm with my babies every day. I want to be with my babies. But I have to tell you, it was very nice being in the car for 2 hours by myself, driving into the city. It was very nice being able to grab a cup of coffee and walk in the city. And even though I hate Times Square, but that's where my office was, it was really nice to just be outside, go to the shops, speak to adults. It was really nice. I saw a video it's so funny. I saw this video and this mom was eating and their child came up to them trying to grab a piece of food. The mother said, no, you had your snack. This is my meal. Go on, yada, yada. Now, she got hate up the ass, which doesn't make sense to me. Here's the thing. Yeah, I feel guilty because the same thing happens with my kids. I feel guilty. I do. It's just a little piece of food. Okay, fine. I could have given my baby a piece of food, right? But you just had a snack. My daughter came up to my plate. She had a pack of Cheez-Its in her hand. She had a Rice Krispie in another. Okay. I said, it is 3:00. I haven't eaten anything all day. I've been up since 5 a.m. I had a lukewarm coffee and 2 pieces of fucking cereal. I'm about to capsize. Back the hell up off my plate. I felt guilty. But I ate all my food and I was very nourished and I felt very good. And I was like, you know what? I feel guilty. I could have given my babies a piece of food, but this is my plate. This is my meal. I'm starving. So it does not matter what you do, you're always going to feel guilty. The guilt is never going to leave you because you are a good mother. Honoring yourself is you getting your pink back. I'm not sure if you lost your pink. I'm not sure if it just dimmed a little bit. I'm not sure if you completely lost it and you're trying to revive it, or if you lost it a little bit and you're trying to make it brighter. I'm not sure what you're trying to do. It doesn't really matter. Do it. It does not matter. You finding your pink, you making it brighter. That's what I like to say because I lost my pink for a couple of months, but I don't think I ever really truly lost it. I think it kind of went away for a little while. I found it again. But I think now in this phase of motherhood that I'm in, I'm making my pink brighter. I'm doing things that bring me joy. This weekend, I'm going to go spend the weekend with my cousin and have a sleepover. She has kids. She has my nephew. I got my 2 kids. Where you think them kids are going to be? With their daddy. And my cousin and I are going to go to the spa. We're going to go to dinner. We're going to have a whole girls' weekend. And yeah, I feel guilty. Even right now, I feel guilty. I'm like, fuck, I want to stay home with my babies. But then I'm like, no, I need this. Bitch, I need this. I need to go to the spa. I need to get a massage. And then I need to go to a bougie fucking dinner and get all dolled up and decked out and dressed up and stomp the streets and hear my heels going all over the fucking concrete. I need it. So yes, I feel guilty. Am I going to go anyway into the city and be happier than a pig in shit? Yes, I am. I am going to be happy while simultaneously feel guilty that I'm not with my babies. But that's how I make my pink brighter. When I pour into myself that way, when I do the things that I love to do, when I do the things, especially when I do the things that I used to do before I had kids. And doing them alone is wonderful. I try to also include my kids so that it makes it even that much more enjoyable for me, and then they enjoy it and it becomes something that they may love and we get to indulge in it together, and that just adds to the softness of motherhood that I'm trying to achieve for myself, that you are trying to achieve for yourself. Honoring yourself is the most important thing that you can do. It is so important to pour into yourself because when you do that, you're then able to give everything to your kids because you are the woman that you want to be for yourself. As a mother, you need to show up for everybody all together, all at once. And the one person that you can't show up for is you because you're so busy showing up for everybody else. So you know what, babe? Yeah, feel a little guilty, but never stop honoring yourself and never stop pouring into yourself and doing the things that you want to do. Never, ever stop, because then your kids are going to see, wow, my mom's really happy. Your kids don't see your guilt. They see your joy. They're never going to see that you were guilty because you don't show your kid. We don't show our kids that we're guilty. We don't show that internal battle in our head that we feel guilty about something. No. But they do see when you don't pour into yourself and how you look a little gray around the edges. You don't look like you're lively or that you're happy. My son can tell if I'm not happy, and my son can tell when I am joyful and when I'm brighter. Pour into yourself because your kids can see a difference. And never stop doing it and never stop feeling guilty because that means you're a good fucking mom who cares about her kids. You just have to find the balance of your joy and your guilt. Find a happy place and you will be fine. Thank you for your question. Is it unhealthy to romanticize your life a little too much, or is a little delusion actually a coping mechanism when you're in a hard season? Where's the line between dreaming and associating? God, what a good question. Don't get me wrong. Some of the videos on social media that we see about romanticizing life, yeah, could they be a little cringy? Sure. But you know what I say? Mind your motherfucking business. If you don't like it, keep scrolling. Because the one thing about romanticizing your life, what is wrong with doing that? Listen, delusion, disassociation or not, I don't give a shit. I'm doing it. I'm going to romanticize every part of my life because it makes me feel good. It just adds to the joy of something that I already love, which then makes me feel really, really good. And on top of that, coping mechanism or not, what a gift is it that you can still romanticize your life when you're going through a hard season. That is so powerful because you don't fully get sucked into the shit. You're not drowning. You don't just see bleak and darkness. No. You romanticizing your life through really, really shitty times. You are giving yourself your own light. You are giving yourself your own joy. And that is so hard to do. For people who know what it feels like to be drowning in your own misery, finding the light is nearly impossible. And if romanticizing the things that you want in life bring you that sliver of fucking light that you can hold on to want to keep going, always do it. It is your life. I don't give a shit if you want to romanticize you sweeping the floor or you bed rotting all day. Romanticize it because it is your life. It is no one else's. Make your life the dreamiest life that you could ever imagine for yourself because you're the one living it. So no, I don't give a shit if it's disassociation, a coping mechanism. I love it and I'm going to do it forever. The hell with a blurred line. I'm going to always do it. Always. Next question. Should I give up on a 30-year best friendship? Oh, girl, here we go. Okay, girl. Oh my God. Okay. Hold on. Because this is a story. Wait a minute. Should I give up on a 30-year best friendship? I'm ghosted by my best friend and she won't answer my texts or calls. 2 weeks ago, she was supposed to help me for my mother's birthday celebration. I asked her for a photo of me and somebody else. I didn't think it was an issue because she was recently with that person. She told me she didn't have it, no problem. She then texted me and said, "Are you about to give that person a birthday shout out? Because if you are, that's bogus." I told her I'm sorry that she felt that way. She says that I'm always going the extra mile for others. Oh, well, actually, she said, I'm always going the extra mile for other bitches who don't do the same for me. Meanwhile, she's talking me off the ledge. Okay. Woo! Okay, baby gal. When a relationship is draining you to the point where you feel like you are over apologizing, that you are over compensating, that you are over coddling, time doesn't matter. Just because you've known someone for 30 years does not give them the permission to hurt you like that. Doesn't give them permission to belittle you. Doesn't give them permission to be comfortable enough for them to try to call you out your name, talking about, well, you shouldn't do this and that's bogus of you and rah, rah, rah. Listen, I'm all for sharing your opinion. I'm all for voicing concern, telling me how you feel, especially if I hurt your feelings. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to be disrespectful because I don't speak to you that way. Don't speak to me that way. When you hold on to a 30-year friendship, you put 30 years in there to tell me how significant this person has been in your life. From everything that I can see, that's nice. 30 years is nice, but people are married for 30 years and they break up because it doesn't serve them anymore. You can do the same thing with a friendship. It's okay to let it go. It's okay to say, whoa, this is not okay anymore. Also, too, I think we need to start acknowledging that a relationship is a relationship, platonic or romantic, and people change. You can choose to love the person in their change, or you can choose to say, hey, this is really not doing it for me anymore. That's why people break up. Well, it's one of the reasons people break up. But you don't have to have anybody in your life that is causing you mental, emotional, physical harm. Like, you don't have to keep people in your life that are harmful to your very well-being, no matter the capacity, just because of how many years you have with that person. This person's probably been a staple your entire life. And for some reason, you're just trying, like, it seems like you look at her like a sister, and you're just kind of like chatting with her, like things things are not like, it's not a big deal to you because in your mind you're kind of like, okay, well, this person should know how I feel about her, right? So me asking for this photo to do a shout out doesn't really seem like a big deal. Now, on the other end, your friend is probably like, damn, like she pours into other people more than she pours into me. Now, I don't know the reality of that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you could ask. Maybe you could say, hey, listen, like, do you feel like I don't give you what you give me? Because sometimes when we're in our own thing, because you said that she talks you off the ledge a lot, it could be a thing where she feels that she doesn't receive from you what she gives to you. And that's very common. That happens all the time. I don't think that they should ghost. I don't think they should ghost you. I do think, however, maybe let's just take a few months off. Let's just take a beat. It's okay to separate from your friends sometimes. It's okay to let each other kind of just live life and do their thing, and then maybe you guys can come and reconnect. Um, the thing is, all the work that you seem to be putting into this relationship, I wouldn't really call it giving up. I would just call it releasing this 30-year friendship. You know what I'm saying? Because giving up, it sounds like there's a lot of guilt that's held with you wanting or even thinking about giving up this friendship. So sit with it, but understand that if you don't want to be in this friendship anymore because it's really really detrimental to you, it has been for some years, she's not the same person, it's okay to give it up. You're going to feel sad, you're going to mourn the loss, because that's exactly what it is. It's a loss of friendship. So it's okay to mourn that loss and go ahead and feel those things. Don't feel guilty because you did something for yourself. So that's my answer. If you want to release this friendship, I support you. Last question, which is such a nice question to end off with because, wow, thank you. Whoever asked this question sees me. So thank you. I love you for this question. Best Lego set or dream Lego set. If you watch my earlier episodes, you saw my bookcase that had all my Lego on it. I have to say, the best Lego set, or okay, my dream Lego set that I haven't purchased yet. That's a good one. My dream Lego set that I haven't purchased. Well, the thing is, see, the thing about me is I indulge in my desires. I don't really tell myself no. My dream Lego set was the Green Gods Bank, which is actually, this is a good opportunity for me to probably pull it up so whoever's watching this can actually see. So my dream Lego set was Green Gods Bank, which is this behemoth of a Lego set. If you could see it right here. The thing is, I bought it and I built it, and it is majestic. It is everything that you could ever imagine for Harry Potter fans, for Lego fans. It is absolutely everything. She's everything, and more. My dream Lego set now that I haven't purchased for myself yet. When I get a new job offer, I'm going to purchase it for myself as a congratulatory gift, is the Goonies Lego set. I love the Goonies. The Goonies is one of my favorite movies of all time. This Lego set is very iconic. She is the moment. She is everything. She's about $329. So yeah, I'm going to just wait for a minute because I have my backlog of Lego builds are actually insane. So that would be my dream Lego set right now because I don't have it. The best Lego set that I've ever built right now, because it's finished, I have two that I think are the best because they speak to me and my loves, is the Office Lego set and the Beauty and the Beast Castle Lego set. And I'm going to throw Green Gots in there because she is the moment. Okay. She's an icon. But yeah, so those are my best Lego sets. I'm currently building the Stranger Things, the Creel house, which the mechanism function in there is out of this freaking world. It's a gorgeous set. I'm also simultaneously building Things apartment from the Wednesday show. I have a Starry Night painting that I'm going to build. I have a Wicked painting I'm going to build. I have the Willy Wonka. My backlog is actually very impressive. I'm not gonna lie. My backlog is crazy and I love. So thank you for your question. That is such a good place to end off. Oh my God, stop. Okay. Well, this is the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you cannot get enough of me the same way I cannot get enough of you, go ahead and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Latinaly Podcast. And be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify, where you can watch this episode or you can listen to it everywhere else. If you want to be on the next one, go ahead and send me a question, some tea, a story, wherever you want. Girl, you can DM me, you can email me, you could go to our NGL link. It don't matter. All the links are going to be down below, actually, if you want to be on the next. Signed, Kiah. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. I'm Kiah Burgos. This is the Latinaly Podcast, where we are untamed, uncensored, and always unapologetic. And I'll talk to you next week.